Right. There, just go back one, Anna.
Okay.
Okay, we are live. Welcome everybody to our blood sugar management webinar today. There you go.
Nice. Hey guys, so we're right at 12 o'clock. So let's have a Zoom, shall we? My name is Coach Anna. I am co-hosting today along with Coach Suzanne and Coach Julie. We are so excited that you guys took a little bit of time to spend with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about blood sugar. Blood sugar management is really the gateway to your health. And this is something that us as TLS coaches talk a lot about, because regulating your blood sugar levels is so important for overall health. So we do want to let you guys know that we do have a little disclaimer. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. We're just sharing our experience and our knowledge through the years. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what we're going to go through today, which is lifestyle, diet, movement, and sleep. So I want you guys to think of this as a symphony. So it's not about just one thing, it's everything working together. So we're going to talk a little bit about why sugar is worse than fat. Now, Suzanne, you and I were discussing earlier today how when we were in college, I know that we had heard all about fat-free foods. And so we would get some of those fat-free foods thinking that we were doing something that was healthy when really it's just loaded with sugar. So it says fat-free, but it's spiking those blood sugar levels.
Right.
And we're going to discuss the impact of sugar on your overall health and the factors that increase our blood sugar beyond just eating sugar, because it's more than just what you're taking in your body. And we're also going to discuss the solutions and your lifestyle, which includes your diet, your movement, and your sleep, like I said, a whole symphony. And of course, the supplementation that can help. So sugar 101. So what is a carbohydrate? We know that's a starch, it's a sugar, it's a fiber. And there's two types of sugar. So there's naturally occurring sugar, and then there's added sugar. So naturally occurring sugar would be like lactose, which is in milk, or fructose, which is in fruit, obviously. And then there's added sugars. So there's different names for these added sugars too. So we're going to discuss that in just a moment too. And I think it's important that you guys know that the CDC actually highlights the fact that many foods contain added sugars, things like corn sweetener, corn syrup, dextrose, fructose, honey malt syrup. These are all sugars, and they're just called different things. So, like I said, it's just called different things. So we do believe that it's important to be able to read food labels, but we want to dive a little bit deeper and really see where that sugar is coming from, because it's not always labeled as just sugar. And then you do have all these added sugars too. So sugar that's added can also be called any of these things: brown sugar, corn syrup, dextrose, fructose, fruit juice, high fructose corn syrup, honey, icing sugar, lactose, malt. So there's so many different things that it can actually be called. And it's important to really know where those sugars are coming from. So this is something I discuss a lot with a lot of my clients. A lot of the foods and the products that you guys are seeing on the stores today are really marketed to make you think that they're healthy. So cereals, bread, snacks, condiments all have sugar kind of hidden inside of them. For instance, ketchup. A lot of people will think that ketchup might be healthy because it has lycopene from the tomatoes, but it also has a ton of sugar and it has a ton of salt. So cereals, they'll be labeled high fiber, but again, it's loaded with sugar. Snacks, a lot of the snacks, you can see from the different labels that it will say something like high fiber, low fat, no fat. Well, the thing is, we do need fats and we do need sugars, but we don't need so much added sugar. And it's important to know that it's in a lot of the stuff that you're eating. So being able to read those food labels and know where that sugar is coming from is important. And again, like I said, condiments loaded with sugar that people don't really realize that it's in that. So how sugar affects your health? Well, unstable blood glucose levels. So if your blood sugar is spiking and crashing, then something we talk about in TLS is how you're no longer in fat burning mode, you're in fat storage mode. But it also, that hanger's a real thing. It kind of makes you crazy. So those unstable blood glucose levels have you spiking and crashing all throughout the day. It also increases your risk of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. And sugar interferes with your immune function. So we actually did a Zoom just the other day on immunity and the importance of building and increasing your immunity. Well, sugar is something that can actually decrease your immunity. So let's focus on not only building it, but also not hindering it. And it can be correlated with low chromium intake, which we're going to discuss later today. And it can accelerate aging. So I'm one of those that's really thinking about anti-aging treatments and whatnot these days. And aging is really inflammation, and inflammation is really what everything in the body, from headaches, aging, to heart disease. This is all caused by inflammation. Well, high levels of sugar intake increase inflammation in the body. Tooth decay. We talk a lot about tooth decay, but and gum disease, but something we don't talk about is that it really does and can lead to diabetes, and affects our behavior and cognition. So people talk a lot about Halloween. We just had Halloween just last weekend, and the kids eating all the sugar and how they seem to have that sugar high and then that crash, right? So it does affect your behavior and cognition, and can lead to that stress response. I know I discuss this a lot, how I know when I've eaten a little more sugar that I probably need to, because I tend to be a little more anxious or irritable, depressed. Like, I just don't handle things as well. It does really lead to that stress response, heightened stress response. Children and teens who consume sugar have the lowest intakes of essential nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin C, folate, B12. And we're giving our kids and our teenagers a lot of this sugar, and a lot of them are actually just going and finding it themselves, because who doesn't like sugar? But there is this perpetual cycle of addiction with sugar. Once you eat sugar, your blood sugar level is going to spike, and that's going to create dopamine and insulin, and then it's going to crash. And then when you crash, you have that hunger and those cravings again. And what do? We go back and we eat more sugar. So if you're constantly spiking and crashing throughout the day and finding yourself needing a snack, and then going for the high sugary bar that you think is healthy, that spike and that crash is saying that you might have a sugar addiction, which so many people do and don't realize it. So let's look at the statistics here. So recommended daily sugar limit by the American Heart Association is 6 teaspoons for women and 9 teaspoons for men. Now, Americans' actual daily sugar intake is equal to 22 teaspoons. So if you can just imagine taking a teaspoon, dipping it in the sugar 22 times, that's what most Americans are actually taking in throughout the day. They're not thinking about what's really in their foods and in the condiments and things that they're using as well. So this over intake of sugar, we have this graph here, and what's really surprising about it is not just that everyone seems to be taking in more sugar than they need, but how much more. We have adults taking in roughly 142% more than the average recommended sugar intake. Teenagers, again, that's huge, because they love their chips and their Cokes and their sodas and their drive-through restaurants. But they're taking in about 208% more than the suggested recommended level. Children, toddlers, how many of us are moms and we were giving our children juice thinking, well, they need that vitamin C. Let's give them some OJ, when really they should just be eating that orange to get that vitamin C, right? So we're really consuming so much more sugar than we should be, and it's affecting our overall health. So factors that do affect our blood sugar. So it's not just the food that you're eating, that is your diet, but also sleep. Are you getting enough? Lack of sleep, too much sugar causes more stress. More stress changes your hormones. You're getting spikes and crashes throughout your blood sugar and throughout your hormone levels all throughout the day. Alcohol, that's something that we call sugar with a kick, because it does increase your blood sugar levels and leads to other things that are, that are just the stress, the hormone fluctuations. Physical activity level. If you're not getting in a lot of physical activity, you're really not using all of the energy that your body has stored. If you've been sick or ill, and blood sugar can affect that, and that can also affect your blood sugar. And medication and birth control can actually affect your blood sugar as well. So we're not able to get in the vitamins and the nutrients that we need most of the time. And then when we are taking in foods, we're not getting in the foods that are really regulating blood sugars, it seems. We're going for the easy snack, which is like what we think is a protein bar, but which is really just a chocolate bar. You know, it's so high in sugar. It says it has a lot of fiber. It says it has a lot of protein, but it's so high in sugar. It really just ends up being a chocolate bar. And so all these factors, sleep, stress, diet, all those things affect our blood sugar levels and why we have to supplement these days. So having proper blood sugar maintenance can dramatically impact your health. From your cardiovascular system to your weight, to your muscles and skin, and maintaining healthy blood sugars can help you support long-term health. And it's not just what you do today that impacts your health and wellness. So while a proper diet that is low glycemic, that means it's low on the glycemic index, is regulating or lower, keeping your blood sugars regulated throughout the day. And physical activity are a great start, but sometimes our bodies need more for healthy blood sugar support due to poor sleep, chronic stress levels, and hormonal changes and more.
That was awesome, Anna. One of the words you said was symphony, and our body is a symphony. And I'm going to talk about how the supplements that we use personally for ourselves and coach with also have a symphony. This is blood sugar, stabilizing our blood sugar is one of my favorite topics because it really is, as you mentioned, Anna, the gateway to quality health. No matter what our goal is, if you want to lose weight or if you want to increase physical endurance, increase sex drive, manage stress, reduce inflammation, which is aches and pains, whatever our goal is, it all starts with quality blood sugar levels inside of our body. And so if anybody on this webinar is interested in more information, we're continuously doing educational seminars. We do one-on-one coaching as well to help you create a protocol and a program that works for yourself. So again, more to come. I'm super excited about the blood sugar topic. So as you mentioned, Anna, supplementation is key because while we're doing everything that we can in our own power to change our diet, to manage stress, to sleep, supplements are just, they're bridging the gaps, right? And they're helping us to increase our health and manage our blood sugars all at the same time. I have to move. Let me see. I just have to move our faces so I can read. Okay, anyway. All right, so first I'm going to talk about a few different supplements, and Julie's going to help me as well. So let's talk about chromium. The Isotonics isochrome, one of the main ingredients is chromium in there. And the isochrome is the primary benefits, there we go, are going to help stabilize our blood sugar levels and our insulin activity, our heart health, our cardiovascular health. We spoke about energy and stamina, right? Muscle strength. If you're eating sugars, you're reducing your muscle, you're increasing your muscle waste actually, and you're missing out on what your body needs to increase muscle capacity. And we're actually have a talk on that. Another thing that you spoke about, Anna, was the tooth decay, right? So we're doing children's health on Thursday. All right, so let me get back on track here and speak about chromium. So chromium is a trace mineral, and that's going to help to stabilize our blood sugar levels inside of our body. All of the supplements that I'm going to speak about and that Julie's going to help me speak about are also have a symphony with them. And so, there's a lot of chromium supplements on the market, but why would you want to choose the Isotonics isochrome? And so we'll go through that. So if your diet is suboptimal and you don't absorb foods easily, maybe you have gut health issues, right? That's going to decrease your capacity to absorb the chromium that you're taking in. Maybe you're not eating enough foods that are containing chromium. Processed foods and grains and other foods that cause digestive disruption are minimizing your ability to break down and absorb the chromium. And if you're eating a diet high in sugar, you're lacking the chromium. And again, you're decreasing your body's ability to absorb that chromium. And let's just talk about age, right? We're all increasing our age. There's nothing you can do to stop the number, but you can take care of your health and you can decrease what your age looks like on you. So things just slow down as we age. So why the isotonic? So I'm going to speak more on that. All right. So we have the chromium that I spoke about here. It's an essential trace mineral, and it's good for controlling your hunger. So if you're like having an afternoon crash, like say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe it's 3 a.m., right? Do any of you wake up in the morning or in the middle of the day and you're craving different foods? This could be a sign that you are lacking in your chromium, right? The chromium argonate. So there's different synergistic blends. Everything in the formula is there for a reason. And so we're going to combine this to help with heart health. The chromium argonate is an amino acid that's going to help produce nitric oxide inside of your body, and that's going to dilate your blood vessels, which in turn then helps with your cardiovascular health. Also supports insulin activity and boosts your metabolism, which is very important. Everybody needs to metabolize the foods that you're eating, the proteins, the carbs, and the fats. We have coenzyme Q10. You may have heard of CoQ10. This is a coenzyme to create energy, to create life inside of your body. We want to work on the cells in our body, which is the mitochondria, the powerhouse, the energy house inside of our body. Certain drugs and medications will also deplete your coenzyme Q10 inside of your body. And so another reason to supplement with that. Low CoQ10 is also associated with muscle fatigue, muscle aches and pains, and just low energy. So if you're experiencing any of that, you might consider supplementing with coenzyme Q10. Let's talk about the L-carnitine. L-carnitine is another amino acid. This amino acid is found in the cells of the body, and it's going to support your fat metabolism, your heart, and your organs. So you can see how all of the ingredients so far in the isotonics isochrome are helping with energy and heart health, and of course, your blood sugar levels inside of your body. A lot of L-carnitine is found in animal products. And so if you don't eat a high animal product, maybe you're vegan or vegetarian, a great reason for you to consider supplementing with the isochrome. Or maybe, just those animal products, they're not farmed and they're not raised like they used to be. And so just like food that's grown, all of our produce, the animals are lacking some nutrients as well. All right, so lipase. Okay, so now lipase is a fat. If you know anything about ACE, the suffix ACE, it is a fat. And so this fat digesting enzyme is in this product to help the coenzyme Q10 actually work. Remember, we talked about the symphony, right? So we can buy supplements anywhere in any store, but is there a thoughtful process behind the formulation? And with the isotonics, there always is, which is why us as coaches have chosen to, use them, take them for ourselves, and to coach with them. They are life-changing. And so the lipase is a specific blend of fatty acids that is going to help the coenzyme Q10 function the way it should and needs to inside of the body. So what happens when you're doing everything that, as far as diet and exercise, as Coach Anna mentioned at the beginning, you are changing your lifestyle, but you're just not able to stabilize your blood sugar. Maybe you have been diagnosed with a blood sugar disorder or disease or a challenge, right? And so you need to take that next step to take control over your blood sugar levels. So food is first, diet and exercise, sleep and stress management. We're supplementing. And just when this just isn't enough, we need to think about supplementing with advanced level 90 blood sugar maintenance. So this is a great product because this is going to help balance your sugar cravings, right? Whether you're having cravings all day long, maybe you feel your blood sugar drop or spike, right? We want to create a normal release of insulin levels inside of your body. We want to continue to promote cellular health, weight management, weight loss may be a byproduct. Now, not everybody that has blood sugar issues needs to lose weight. Most of them do though. But even if you don't want to lose weight, this is still a good product for you because your blood sugar is your gateway to good health, no matter what your goals are. And of course, we want to think about normal cholesterol and triglyceride levels. Those are also quality, great components to think about when we're speaking about blood sugar. All right, so glucomannan is going to help control our blood sugar because it's a soluble fiber. So we know that fibers, when we eat fibrous foods, they're scraping out cholesterol is the big thing that's marketed, right? Eat high fiber foods and lower your cholesterol. Well, we're going to scrape out anything else that's in the body, like inflammation. And this will also help to balance your blood sugar levels because inflammation is going to throw everything off too. The dietary fiber will also keep you feeling fuller longer. So you won't have those cravings as much and you'll be less likely to overeat, which may be, right, part of your vicious cycle in the imbalance in your blood sugar. So you want to think about blood sugar and soluble fiber being your BFFs, right? They go together for sure. All right, so ALA for short, alpha lipoic acid, is a superhouse, a powerful, powerful antioxidant. And I just spoke on that in regards to inflammation. When we can and provide antioxidative properties into our body, when we can reduce inflammation, when we can kill those free radicals, that also creates stability and balance inside of our body and create healthy living. All right. Gymnema sylvestre, right? I'm doing good with my words here, you guys. This is a medicinal plant, and this is known to kill off those sweet taste buds. So if you're living a life of constantly craving sweet foods, this medicinal plant will help to cleanse your taste buds and to rebalance those. And then we've all heard of ginseng, right? In this case, American ginseng is going to support your physical and your mental performance. So blood sugar issues, if you're living with blood sugar issues, you might have highs and lows throughout the days of increased or heightened energy. People have crashes as well, right? I'm on calls and coaching people all the time. And so that's just not a good life, living those highs and those lows. So the American ginseng is an adaptogenic herb, meaning if you are experiencing those high levels, you'll come back down. If you're experiencing those low levels, the ginseng has the ability to balance you and bring you back up and support you. So you can see that we have a beautiful symphony of whole foods resourced ingredients here in our advanced level 90 that can help you manage your blood sugar levels. All right, let's talk about fiber. Fiber, food is first, so let's think about getting fibrous vegetables that don't contain as much sugar as your fruits do. I am a huge fiber component. My kids love taking this advanced fiber. We spoke about the benefits of soluble fiber. And it's so important because we just don't eat enough fiber in our diets, right? Our ancestors used to eat 50, 80, 100 grams of fiber. You might be eating 12 grams of fiber a day. So we want to think about getting 8 to 10 serving of vegetables. And so we can be those sponges with that fiber and scrape out our GI tract and any toxins or things that shouldn't be in our gut. All right, so I love this advanced fiber powder because again, it's not like any fiber powder on the market that just contains fiber. We have things in the fiber powder that are going to support the reason, right, why we want to take fiber to begin with. So fiber is going to provide good gut health for us, good gut biome, and so do pre and probiotics, which are in our fiber powder. And then L-glutamine also repairs the gut, right? We don't want to just think about taking something to poop. We want to not only cleanse our body and support our body, we want to enhance and to repair our body. Every gastroenterologist I have ever been to has always spoken to me about L-glutamine, and we have 1,000 milligrams of L-glutamine in this product. So I love this NutriClean Advanced probiotic here. All right, so what can the advanced fiber powder do for you? So you want to think about adding pre and probiotics from your foods and from your supplements to your gut so that you provide a good powerhouse, a good feeding ground for the probiotics and the good gut bugs. There we go. That's what I was looking for, the good gut bugs, so that they can grow and help you create a healthy life, because we know your gut is your second brain, right? Go with your gut, they say, right? Or how are you feeling in your gut? That is a message. And so if our brain and our gut are connected, we're going to be living a healthier life. All right, so we have the insoluble and soluble fiber here, and these are proprietary blends, so you can't find these anywhere else. All right. So let's see, where are we here? Probiotics. All right. The glutamine, the L-glutamine, naturally sourced, is the gut's fuel. It's also your brain's fuel and muscle fuel as well, right? If your blood sugar levels, we kind of touch on this, if your blood sugar levels aren't balanced and they're going up and down, you have a lot of muscle wasting that's going on. And so plus muscle wasting or atrophy happens, it begins at the age 25. So if you're 30, 40, or 50 or older, and you're on this call, on this webinar right now, you want to think about maintaining your muscle. And so you can support good gut health, you can support good blood sugar levels, and you can support healthy muscles, which is your metabolism, all by taking your NutriClean fiber powder. And it's very gentle, it's not harsh, you're not going to be running to the restroom. And in fact, if you do have poor gut health and you're going too often, a good quality fiber powder can help to balance that as well. All right, so L-glutamine, got ahead of myself. All right, L-glutamine, amazing gut health, muscle health, and brain health. All right, so we want to promote healthy colon. We want to promote healthy bacteria in the gut, and cholesterol levels, quality blood sugar levels, and immune health. Another thing to think about this season, this time of year, or anytime actually. All right, so let's move into magnesium and blood sugar.
Thank you, Suzanne. I love talking about magnesium. Magnesium is like the hidden superstar of all of the minerals that our body needs. It's actually responsible for supporting over 300 biochemical processes and reactions in your body. It's an essential nutrient for your brain and your body. And for the purposes of our presentation today, we're going to be focusing specifically in on magnesium and blood sugar. So magnesium, one of the processes it supports is to convert glucose from our food into fuel. So if you don't have enough magnesium in your body, your cells are going to be more or less effective at using insulin. And remember, insulin is the key that actually opens the cell to allow the energy production, to allow the energy into your cells so that you can produce the energy you need. Typically, people who are suffering with insulin resistance or coming into type 2 diabetes, it's not that their body isn't producing insulin, it's their body isn't able to use the insulin effectively. That's where we run into trouble. So typical Western diets, if you think about it, we've got tons of fast food, readily available, burgers, fries, simple carbohydrates. We've gotten away from eating more of the whole foods, the fresh vegetables, the fresh fruits, and things like that. So our typical Western diet, consequently, is lower in minerals, especially magnesium. Would it surprise you to know that over 55% of Americans don't get enough magnesium? How do you know if your body's going to have enough magnesium or not? There's some cravings that are hallmarks for magnesium deficiency. I know as a almost middle-aged, I won't use the term middle-aged, but an almost middle-aged woman, we always talk about we crave chocolate. I have to have chocolate in my life. Well, actually, that's a sign of magnesium deficiency. So you need to increase your magnesium. If you, at night when you're sleeping, if you grind your teeth, that could potentially be a sign of a magnesium deficiency. So those are some things to look at. And when you have type 2 diabetes, one of the hallmark symptoms of that is excessive thirst. We're drinking water all the time, which of course then you're going to be having to urinate more frequently, and that's the pathway for the magnesium to be leaving the body. So that's how you end up losing your magnesium or becoming depleted in magnesium. There are different sources food-wise, of course, of magnesium, things like the dark chocolate, avocados, nuts, legumes, things like that. Let's look at some of the science behind what Suzanne and Anna and I have been sharing with you, because yes, we know it works, we trust that it works, but the science also backs up what we're saying. So in the first study, the effects of oral magnesium supplementation on glycemic response among type 2 diabetics. This is an article just from last year in the science journal Nutrients. And in this article, it's a randomized controlled trial, which means people were randomly selected to either have a placebo treatment or they actually received the magnesium in this case. And this 12-week study did demonstrate that magnesium supplementation does improve insulin sensitivity by about 10%, which is a very significant number, as well as lowering your fasting blood sugars by 37%. Guys, that's huge in a 12-week period of time. The second study is it's an older study from 2003, and it's another randomized controlled double-blind study from Diabetes Care Medical Journal. And in this 16-week study, it also confirms that magnesium supplementation has a significant impact to lower your fasting blood glucose, as well as diabetic A1C levels. And if you're not familiar with that term, the A1C number that diabetics rely on to see how they're doing with controlling their sugars is a measure. It's a 3-month average. And we typically want to see that somewhere around 6, 6.5. You don't want to get it any higher than that because that enters into prediabetes and diabetic. So those two science studies do definitely back up what we're talking about when it comes to magnesium. So Suzanne mentioned some of our isotonic lines. Our isotonic magnesium is a powerhouse for magnesium supplementation. It does have 2 different sources of magnesium, citrate and glycinate, for magnesium ionization and absorption. And in its isotonic form, when it's taken as a directed, it can deliver 90 to 95% bioavailability within 10 to 15 minutes. And your body doesn't have to break it down. It's isotonic, so you don't need to worry about going through your stomach and being digested, which, as we all know, if you have poor gut health, it's really hard to break down that food on a good day. So in this case, you're not going to have to worry about it. Bottom line, because of its isotonic formulation, it works and your body will benefit from it. Now let's look at stress and its impact on overall health. Suzanne touched on inflammation. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. So stress, there are these 4 things that I'm going to look at right now and how it affects. Number 1, insulin resistance. Remember, that's when your body isn't able to effectively use the insulin that it's producing. It's going to cause you to have fluctuations in your energy. You're not going to feel good all the time. You're going to have ups and downs with your energy level. More importantly, you know that muffin top that we all worry about, or the spare tire, I think guys call it, that's your intra-abdominal fat. And that is a hallmark of insulin resistance, when your body starts to retain the fat around your belly. The second one, inflammation. We all know there's 2 kinds of inflammation. There's the chronic inflammation, which we'll talk about in a second. And then there's the pain inflammation, when your joints hurt, when you get up and your knees crack and pop, or you have a headache. We know with the short-term type of inflammation, we're gonna do something to address that pain. Chronic inflammation tends to be more silent. We don't tend to notice it until all of a sudden you've gone to the doctor and they look at your blood work and they look at markers that we, like what we have listed here, your TNF alpha and your interleukin 6, those are inflammatory markers that doctors will look at when those numbers are elevated. When you have more inflammation, you tend to have more age-related risks for complaints, things like increased triglycerides, increased cholesterol, increased blood pressure, all of those things. And those are what doctors refer to as silent killers, because you may not necessarily realize you're suffering with these things until it's too late and you have to have some kind of intervention. Cognitive concerns. Okay, how many people are running around feeling so stressed, whether it's normal stress, I'm just running late, or chronic stress, where you're always going 90 miles an hour with your hair on fire, you can't catch a break, and you can remember everything. I can't remember where I put my keys, what I had for lunch yesterday, let alone all of the more important things. And that's because stress impacts our cognitive abilities. It impacts the hippocampus in our brain, and it's not functioning as effectively as it should. On top of that, then you can look at the mental and emotional concerns. I don't know too many happy, stressed people. People who are very stressed and carrying around chronic stress and things like that, they don't project happiness. And that's because stress interferes with our body's ability to produce serotonin. Serotonin's the happy hormone. That's the feel-good hormone. So, you know, those are some of the effects that stress can have on us. And when we're talking to our clients, we're talking about what we call the 3 A's. You have to have an awareness that this is going on in your life and in your body. You're going to work with your healthcare professionals to identify all of these key points. You're going to have to accept the fact that you're living with this, and then you're going to apply changes to create a more effective solution for your body. Okay, so sorry about that. Let me go back one. So what this all does is it puts us on a hamster wheel. It is a vicious cycle. Everybody has stress in their lives. It's a fact of being alive in our generation right now. Unfortunately, with increased stress comes sometimes increased emotional eating. We don't turn to celery when we're stressed out. We don't turn to eating carrots and things like that. We turn to sugar. We turn to what's quick and easy, the chips, the chocolate bar, things like that. And then that's going to create a poor lifestyle, which is going to contribute to poor sleep habits, which is going to create more stress in your life. And it's just a vicious cycle that we need to be able to break in order to live happy and feeling good. Sorry, guys. So one of the things that people know, that doctors know, and science shows us, is that when you're living, especially in a constant state of stress, it depletes the B vitamins in your body. Why do we need a good activated B complex? Why are they important? Well, they promote lots of good processes in your body. They promote cardiovascular health, normal cognitive function. You remember, you forget things, forget where your keys are, things like that. Deficiency, it promotes folic acid, it supports B12, B6, all those things are going to contribute to fatigue and being tired when you hit the wall at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It could be because your body's low in B vitamins and B complex. It's going to help maintain that happy hormone, that serotonin in your brain, and it's going to help your body decrease and manage stress and consequently improve your mood. Now, this great graphic, I know it's kind of small print. We're going to actually post this up in our Healthy Hacks Facebook group for you to look at, but this is going to go into a little bit more detail into specific areas of your body and of your brain that stress or the B complex will help alleviate. Now, we've talked a lot about all of the science behind our supplementation, why it's important to maintain healthy blood sugar levels. I'm going to share with you a testimonial. This is a real person, a real life person. It's not somebody that we've read about in a book. It's one of my best clients. His name is Matthew. He was, at the time, he was 50 years old, a very active, normally healthy guy. However, he had been living with type 2 diabetes for about 10 years. Now, physically, he's strong, he's active, he's a Taekwondo black belt. So the exercise component was never trouble for him. It was food choices, things like that. So if we look back to when we started working together, it was the winter of 2018, the blood work that he had with his doctor, his A1C was at 14.6. Remember, that's a 3-month average of your glucose levels. And for a normal person, you want that to be around 6, 6.5. His was 14.6. His cholesterol and his triglycerides were so high, they couldn't even measure them on the blood work. His weight was increasing. And most importantly, he had become dependent on insulin to the tune of over 300 units a day just to maintain his blood sugar. So we had been working together for a while, and we figured out a low glycemic impact eating plan that he could add in with his already existing exercise routine. We did add some supplementation with magnesium and B complex and some others, and these are the results. So about 20 weeks, 5 months or so, he followed this most of the time because it's all about choices. And he did the low glycemic eating, the exercise, the supplementation. Now look at these results, and these are real results. His A1C dropped dramatically. It went down to 8.6, which is, it's not optimal, but remember, we're only talking about 5 months period of time. His cholesterol was down to about 220, which is a little high, but it's not terrible. His triglycerides, which I want to say they were somewhere over 800 when we started working together, were already back down to the high end of normal. He dropped over 50 pounds. And his insulin usage was almost non-existent. He has to use insulin as needed, depending on what he's eating, maybe 10 units on any given day. So this works. It's a lifestyle. We hear so many people talk about diabetes runs in my family, and we have a colleague who says, no, nobody runs in your family. And the bottom line is it's manageable with proper diet, exercise, and when necessary, you add supplementation. The results are possible. You just have to be consistent. You just follow that plan, just like a map or a GPS, and you can get to those normal blood sugar levels so your body can function optimally. Now, here's the best part, what's next? So what do we do with all of this information? We'd be happy to answer any questions if you'd like to throw anything in the chat box. If you'd like more information, the person who's invited you onto this webinar can schedule a one-on-one consultation with you. It doesn't cost anything, and we can meet you where you are and evaluate where you want to be and help you come up with a game plan. We mentioned a couple times, we do have an exclusive Facebook group that we're going to be sharing tons and tons more information. It's called Holiday Hacks, Thrive Through the Holidays, and we will be sharing some of these presentations. And we do have I don't even know, maybe 6 or 7 more seminars planned with various topics. The next one is on Thursday. It's going to be a kids health focus with a couple of our other coaches. And we would love for you to join us on that. Remember, if the timing of the seminar doesn't work, you can certainly register and then view the recording at your convenience. And we recognize how valuable everybody's time is, especially in the middle of the day. And we're so appreciative that you took some time to spend with us. Everybody have a great rest of your day and reach out if you do have any questions. Bye.